Evening, fellow YouTubers. This will be my first YouTube video, and I wanted to share with you my experience relating to customer service with Xena products. As you can tell from what you're seeing on the video, I own two Xena locks, an XX15 along with a chain adapter, and an XX10, which is my very first Xena lock that I've been using for a couple of years, I would say, on my Honda motorcycle, and also more recently on my N109R motorcycle. And the Xena XX15 I use on my Kawasaki XX14, I'm sorry, ZX14 sport bike. So here we go. So I recently lost one of my keys to this lock, the XX14. And upon losing it, I wasn't too worried because I had another two keys, since the set comes with three keys. Very shortly after losing the first key, I noticed that the second key was bent, was slightly bent, and the bend was small enough that I thought that I could straighten it up. And as you can see from the video, trying to straighten up a slight bend caused the key to break, to snap into two pieces. I still have the tip of the key somewhere, but I was shocked at how brittle the metal is. This is not as solid as a house key. Your typical house key, you should be able to straighten it up pretty quickly, pretty easily, I mean. If it bends, this one with a very slight bend, I use a pair of pliers and slightly try to straighten up the key. And as you can see from the video, it's immediately snapped. This was a surprise for me. So I went within a few days from having three keys, down to one key. As you can imagine, using this type of lock on a motorcycle, on a Kawasaki motorcycle, I was not comfortable. I'm no longer comfortable installing the lock on my motorcycle, since I'm only down to one key. Literally one key, since the second one is broken and the first one is lost. So I decided to reach out to Xena. And to my surprise, after 3 emails, separated by over a few days, they never got back to me. They simply never got back to me. I contacted them on their Facebook page. Someone responded, promised to get back to me, and never did. So I'm left with a lock that's almost brand new and one key. Okay? Now, they asked for the key code as far as a replacement key process. If you go to the Xena website, you will see that they offer, in exchange for $10, to send you a new set of keys. Not one key, a set of keys. Provided you register the product and you provide them naturally with a copy of your key code. Now, I lost the key code to this one along with the first key that was lost. But what I did is that I looked at my previous lock, the XX10, which is also an original Xena product, and noticed how much the two keys from the different locks were similar. They were extremely similar. They were so similar, as a matter of fact, that it almost looked like they were nearly identical. If you look at the cut from an angle, you will see that they're nearly identical. There's only minor changes on the locks somewhere in this area here, okay, where they differ. And you can tell they're so similar that each key will fit in either lock and almost open. Well, that doesn't mean anything. There's no such thing as almost, but come very close to opening either lock. I have the key code to my XX10 lock, the yellow one. And as I was looking at the key code, I noticed a few things that I wanted to share. Number one, the key code is made of a series of numbers that are only between 1 and 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And I was comparing the code on the opener tool, whatever Xena calls it, and the pattern of cuts on the key. Now, what you notice is that the keys are cut at an angle. It's almost like a 45-degree slanted angle here on the key. That's how it's cut, not like a house key. And you'll notice that there's different depths of cuts. If you look at it from the side, you will notice that it's cut at different depths. Okay? This one being the more shallow depth, and then it goes down much deeper, and then up, and then down a couple of times, and then up and down one last time. Okay? And I said to myself, hold on a second. Let me compare this to the pattern of numbers on my key code. And I noticed a very simple thing. The most shallow cut is a number 1 on the code. Then this one is a much deeper cut, as you can see. It's a number 3, then a 1, then a 2, then another 2, then a 1, then a 4, and a 4. As simple as that. That's your key code. Okay? Now, I don't really care that people know what my key code is, because at the end of this video, I will explain why I will stop using my Xena locks. But my point is, just by looking at your key, it occurred to me that an experienced person could pretty much establish what the code pattern for your key is. Okay? Now, going back to my original issue. Okay, let me put this back. Looking at the key code I lost with my first key on my XX15, which is the largest lock Xena makes. Okay? I was able, essentially, to establish what the code was. And I thought to myself, hold on a second. All it would take is for someone to essentially have a trained eye, look at your key or hold your key for no more than 5 seconds and essentially guess what your key code is. All there is to it is you looking at the key from an angle and determining how deep the cut is. Okay? If you've been following what I'm saying, just by looking at the key, you will instantly know what the code is on this one. And again, I don't really care that anybody knows what the code is on my key. I'm not disclosing where I live or where I park my motorcycles. And by the way, I no longer intend to use Xena locks. So I was very disappointed in their customer service, simply due to the fact that I have a lock that's fully functional, in excellent condition, which is one of the most expensive locks they make, and I'm unable to reach them to obtain a replacement key. It's as simple as that. This is extremely disappointing, and I thought to myself, hold on a second. If these guys fail to get back to me, I will essentially have to buy a new lock for my Kawasaki. And I'm just not willing to do it. I've been a defender of Xena locks online, on eBay in particular. You'll see my posts and comments on many of their videos where I'm defending the quality of their products. But I have to say, I am extremely disappointed at the level of service I've gotten around this time. And it's unnecessary. I mean, it's all of a sudden, I have become very much aware and very much aware of all the issues the Xena owners have had and all the complaints, not about false alarms, because I think I understand what causes and what triggers false alarms. I'll do another video on that if needed. But I've come to realize that all the complaints I've been reading over the years about Xena customer service sucking, honestly, and them not getting back to anybody, them not answering questions and just ignoring customer requests, at least in the US market, could have some truth to it. And I'm telling you, this is basically a useless lock if I only have a key. I'm definitely not comfortable operating a lock of this size on a nearly new motorcycle with one key. That's just not going to cut it for me. And if Xena is not getting back to me, it essentially tells me that it's time that I move on to another product. My experience with Xena personally hasn't been bad, honestly. I would not have acquired a second lock if I thought it was that bad. But as I'm reading the reviews more and more, I'm starting to realize that this might not be the best option for me. There is a review on Amazon regarding a lady who claims that her key broke in her XX15, which is this one, a similar one, lock. And I gotta tell you, I cast a lot of doubt on that review. I just didn't believe her until I saw how easily the key snaps. That key could have easily snapped in the lock if I kept using the bent key. This one right here. It did not. To some extent, I'm thankful that I was able to try to straighten it out myself outside of the barrel here. So it broke outside of it as opposed to inside, in which case it would have been a significantly more of a challenge for me to be able to get it out. Okay, this is my only comment. I wanted to keep the video 10 minutes. Share your thoughts, post your comments. I'm curious to see what others think. This is new to me. I thought that the coding in a security key, in a key code, was a little more elaborate than this. But trust me, if you own a Xena lock, do exactly what I told you. Hold your key at an angle. Look how deep the cut is. Compare it to your key code on this opener tool, and you'll see that your key code sequence matches exactly the depth of the slots on your key. That's all there is to it. That's really all there is to it. If that's the case, then I'm not sure how good this is worth. Because knowing this now, if someone or one of you showed me their keys, their Xena keys, it will take me only literally 5 seconds for me to establish what the code is. I could be wrong, but at least that's my finding. Okay? Please let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you.